Okay, ready? Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Come play with us, Daddy. Hello! Welcome back to
What's Safeword?
I'm Amp.
I'm Mr. Christopher.
And today,
We're going to talk about polyamory.
how it applies to kink, kind of some basics, and just a really itchy topic in general.
Why itchy?
Oh, well actually the shirt is 100% polyester because today we're talking about polyamory.
God. I hope your new shirts are not 100% polyester.
No, they're actually really nice cotton.
But seriously, today we're going to talk about the basics of polyamory, how it differs from other relationships, and how we bring kink into a poly-family dynamic.
But first, let's talk about what polyamory actually is. Polyamory is defined as wanting to have intimate relationships with more than one partner.
With the knowledge of all partners involved.
Because poly means many, and amory means love. So you are showing love for multiple people. And it's been described as consensual, ethical, and responsible non-monogamy.
And it's the responsible part we're here to talk about today.
Because we're responsible adults. Why was that funny?
So how do we categorize polyamory?
Well, poly's not so cut and dry. There's no like black and white. There's many different ways to categorize your own polyamory. You can swing or be open, which generally isn't too structured.
Or you can have structured constellations.
And those can look like two different people having a very romantic relationship with each other and then playing outside of that. A threesome, you can have a foursome, you can even have a moresome. Although that's actually just a constellation of the Big Dipper.
I was going to say.
Yeah, well,
Some of these constellations, they can either be open or they can be closed.
some people like monogamous, some people like monogamish, some people even have like structured polyamory that looks kind of crazy like that. No, wait, actually that's just a Street Fighter 4 flow chart. Damn it.
So why do you consider doing poly?
To ask that, to even classify yourself as poly, you have to first ask if you're monogamous. So how many of you guys are monogamous? Can you hear them? Okay.
And how many of you consider to be polyamorous?
What, bitch?
You better too.
Oh.
Let's hit you with some facts.
Consensually. Monogamy is known as the foundation for many miserable, misleading, kind of sketchy relationships in this world.
And only 3 to 5% of all the 5,000 mammal species form lifelong monogamous bonds.
And those ones that do actually form bonds include beavers, wolves, and even bats.
Wolves, bats.
Beavers?
Half of all marriages end in divorce, and 3/4 of relationships end because of infidelity.
And 1/3 of those divorces end because of an infidelity. Speaking of hard-hitting facts, what do you call a poly construction worker?
I have no idea.
Polyamorous.
Oh God.
Do you think that joke hit?
God. Stop!
Nailed it.
Oh my God, stop. Further, the human brain craves variety and stimulation, and normally the only way we get that is by breaking up or cheating.
And in those situations, that's only if you're able to actually communicate what you want then and there. When it comes to kinks and just what you want in general, you change, you fluctuate, you find different things in life that you actually like. So it's really hard to find that all in one single person throughout your lifetime.
And most times, people gauge the success of a relationship based on the length of the relationship.
But they rarely actually take into consideration the happiness and the integrity of the relationship itself. And don't even get me started about how honest you are in that relationship.
Don't get me started.
Bitch.
And from my own experience, there is so much love in a polyamory relationship because of the number of people involved.
Love is a crazy commodity in that way. You can measure other things like time or even money, even how much food that I need for Christopher on a daily basis. But love is limitless in that way. And who doesn't need more love in their lives? Can I get an amen?
Amen?
Speaking of amens, Daddy, what do you call a drag queen who is also poly?
I don't know.
Polyglamorous.
Of course. What makes poly work is constant communication, respect, and consent.
And that's an interesting point to bring up because there's so much overlap with consent communication for those that are also kinky. Do you remember what we were talking about before this? You don't ever listen. You don't ever listen to me. I'm always talking. And finally, what really sets poly apart and makes it enriching is that you can build a family of people that you can always talk to. Once you've broken down the factors and barriers of sex, you can really talk about anything and just be open with them as your true self.
So it wouldn't be what's the safe word if we didn't talk about kink. So what about poly drives kink people into it?
Oh my God, poly and kinky, you just want it all. So selfish. You're just looking for an excuse to have orgies all the time, aren't you?
We hear that a lot. So what are some of the reasons that kinky people turn to poly?
Well, the orgies for one. I mean, let's say you're in a relationship and you guys just happen to have different sex drives, but you're very open about the communication there, and it's okay if you go and play on the side.
And what if you have a super vanilla boyfriend that you love?
But he's open enough to let you go play because he knows that you're going to come home and be a happier person in the bedroom. Or let's say you have a different dom for different kinks that you enjoy playing because maybe your dom's not into that certain fetish, or they're just not skilled enough to provide that at the moment.
When you get into specific fetishes, it takes a specific person who wants to do that. Sometimes doms want to sub, like I do.
But subs also want a dom sometimes, because I'm a top.
I mean, yes, puppy. Well done.
So what are some key things to keep in mind when you navigate your poly-kinky relationship?
First, you need to communicate and set clear expectations for everybody involved.
And you need to keep that communication constant. And FOMO, which kind of sounds like a rock band now that I think about it. FOMO! FOMO! Help. Anyways, FOMO, or fear of missing out, can happen in polyamory. It's very easy. When you see people on Facebook or any of your social medias doing things with other people that you have a very close connection with, you can fear that you're missing out on the fun, and that can get kind of FOMO! But that's where you need to communicate that you're having these feelings, or just say something. And also, being a dom in that relationship does not just mean that you get your way.
What?
Except for you, Daddy.
And along with FOMO is jealousy. It happens, even if you don't expect it or want it to.
But by letting people go and play, they're going to come back, they're going to be happier, and you are making them happier in the process. The reason I'm generally not jealous when you go off and play with someone is because I know that you are getting something from someone that I can't give you. And it's not going to make our relationship any worse. It just means that you're going to come back happier, you're going to want to cuddle, you're going to be more loving because you've gotten, something out of your system that you really, really needed to get out.
And in the end, it's all about your partner being happy.
Yeah.
No.
Aww. And a really important one that's especially appropriate for us is that you don't have to make your kink relationship about poly right away. This can be something that evolves over time.
So if you're a pup trying to make polyamory happen,
stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen.
So if your partner asks you if you can try poly and bring someone else in, don't think that you've failed the relationship. If anything, your relationship is just evolving.
Like Pokemon. Speaking of Pokemon, Daddy, what would you call a poly puppy?
I'm scared to ask.
A polywag.
Of course.
So, if you're interested in polyamory, why not give it a polywhirl? But if you have some opinions that might differ from us, don't unleash your poly wrath. Just leave them down in the comments below and let's have a conversation. A Poliwrath is also a Pokemon.
If I laugh, do they think I know?
Well, not now.
No. We realize this is a huge topic and you guys are going to have lots of questions and we're going to try to answer all of them. Especially when it comes to kink and a poly dynamic. There's not a lot of information out there and it gets confusing fast.
Leave likes down below if you enjoy this episode, because otherwise we won't know how much you want to see more. And regardless of being poly or not, always have a safe word. Today's safe word is
Polywog. It's a tadpole.
Excuse me, I had a frog in my throat.
Oh God.
So don't forget to subscribe to What's a Safe Word so you don't miss out on our next poly episode, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye. What? Why? You made fetch happen.
Give me a ball. I'll make fetch happen.
No, that's not the joke.
Fetch.
Here you go. Here's a ball. Here's a ball for you. Here, let me just put this in here. I'm just no, Daddy. Here, just
Not consensual.